Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to the Good Morning Tracy show. I'm still trying to find an introduction, but wait a second. I didn't get my 5 things you need to know. Good morning. How's everyone doing today? Let me just get the 5 things you need to know today. Maybe it showed up here. Stop showing up. I don't know how they do it. Nope. All right, let's do it my way. 5 things you need to know. July 7th. Okay, we got it up, and we'll save it for later, but there are some exciting news in Europe, right? Oh, hi, Lisa D. Hi, Chantel. Hi, Miss J. Florida. Hello. Hi, Musings by Monifa. Good morning, good health, Tracy, and to the chat. Musing says hello to the chat. Chantel, Grand Rising in good health. Sabrina, Tracy, good morning. I'm marvelous. I'm so happy you're marvelous. I am so happy you are marvelous. We all should say that today. How you doing? Marvelous. Right? Trick evil. How you doing today? Marvelous. How's everyone doing today? I have exciting news, but do I even want to talk about Boris Johnson? Do you want to talk about Boris Johnson? Really? He is their version of Trump. If you really want to talk about Boris Johnson, he is their version of Trump. And how he survives his last, it smells good. Marvelous. Chantel says marvelous. Everybody say marvelous. How you doing? Marvelous. Thank you, Sabrina. He is their version of Trump. He is the worst prime minister in history. And I like UK's prime ministers. They are some stellar people. He's a crappy prime minister. And they asked him to step down, and he did. He did. And I'm so happy about it. Goodbye, Prime Minister, idiot. I think him and Trump got along just fine, by the way. This has the same seeds in it as kiwi seeds, but I'm allergic to kiwi. If I eat kiwi, I'm in the hospital. I bring Benadryl wherever I go because I never know what I could be allergic to. I'm in Italy, right? And I'm like, I'm allergic to American kiwi, right? Which is reasonable, right? With all the GMOs and stuff we put in our seeds when they're growing, right? When I was pregnant, I could taste the pesticide in plums. I should have known, right? But kiwi is the one fruit I cannot eat, right? And this is very low in carbs. This is dragon fruit. very low in carbs, and not too sweet. So whatever dragon fruit you're eating out there, you're drinking out there, it's not a sweet drink. So it can't be dragon fruit. Don't drink dragon fruit because this is not sweet at all. Oh, the more I taste it, the more I taste the sweetness. Okay. It's an acquired taste, everyone. Has anybody ever tried dragon fruit? Musings by Manifa said it helps with stomach issues. I have stomach issues every once in a while because I am not allowed to have spicy foods anymore. And this is called Raputin. Raputin. I don't know where we saw it, probably on some TikTok. And then I had to have it. Now, normally I would never touch this shit. Why would I touch anything that looks like this? Please explain to me, world. No, I would never. Am I supposed to clean this? I don't know. I would never touch something like this, even growing off a tree. It's probiotic? Oh, then I really love it. All right. I don't know how to open it. If it's probiotic, I really love it. Something tells me I'm going to love this. Raputin. This is what it looks like. I have a funny feeling I'm going to love this one. Again, an acquired taste. I guess you have to grow up in the tropics. Okay. We have something called canips here, which looks very similar to this, but more green. And it comes in a green cover. It's different. I didn't check to see how many carbs it has. You know, it's different. It's an acquired taste. Very meaty. Very, very meaty. I wonder if how it would add. But look at the seed. I wonder if I plant that seed, what happens? I wonder what kind of leaf I would get if I plant this seed. I might plant it just to see what would happen. Do you know, for the most part, seeds have no smell, no taste. You know why? Because God knew the birds eat everything. And we would never have food if the birds were attracted to seeds. Seeds have no flavor. Birds walk right over it. True story. From God. Let me try one more. I mean, it's okay. Has anybody, is it a fruit? Yes, these are fruits. And people need to eat more berries. We need those fruits in our diets. Thank you, Manifa. That is so true. And when you say berries, are you saying blueberries, strawberries, or any fruit? You know, after I got sick, 2 things I wanted. Sugar, 3 things. Sugar, which I took Coke in to get the sugar in, and fruit. I needed fruit after I got sick. Okay. It's better the second time. Definitely an acquired taste. So true. Health is wealth. Blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. These are all low in carbs, by the way. Strawberries too. My grandson loves blueberries. He came down not wanting to eat meat, although he has been convinced to eat meat. Parents. And his only fruit of choice is blueberries. Yep. Can't wait till he gets to visit. I'm so glad I didn't call for my grandson this summer, because those airlines, none of them are working. Okay. Both of these are acquired taste. Pick this up if you see it. I'm sure they have it in the Whole Foods market or something. Raputin. Serve, chill, and discard the pit. Okay. We were talking about it, and listen, when you trust the Spirit of God, all I said to the Spirit of God was, I'd like to try it. The next day I went to the supermarket to get some tuna fish, and something told me, this is an acquired taste. Go see if they have dragon fruit, which they did. Right above dragon fruit was this package of Raputin. All right. Marie says they are called Raputin. If you have a Korean market nearby, they sell them as well, or Whole Foods. Thank you, Marie. Chrissy says the same thing. You can find them in a Hong Kong market. Get it, guys. I know a lot of blacks, especially, don't know how to go to Koreatown and stuff like that. I'm always shopping in Korean markets. The meat is fresher. The fish and the chicken, much fresher. Plus, they always have little gadgets in your stores that we don't find in Macy's. By all means, try the dragon fruit. It's really good. You know, it kind of like holds here. So I'm wondering if I could make like a whole dish and chop it up and make a whole dish. I'm always on YouTube looking at different menus. Always. I'm looking at any cold dishes that doesn't require heat, because it's so hot. I don't want to put on my stove. I have to take her every time I come on the road. I look for them. Really? Oh, Musing says they sell them at Mexican markets. I've never seen them at American grocery stores. Yeah. Also, guys, jackfruit can be turned into pulled pork. So I couldn't find a real jackfruit anywhere, but not having a car makes it harder for me to go to somebody's farm out here. But I found the canned jackfruit. And who's that woman? She's so funny. The one that told off Wendy Williams. I want to say Tanifa, but I know that's not the name. The one with the afro. She's so pretty. Jackfruit curry is good? Oh, child. I don't carry curry seasoning because that's a Jamaican thing. And let me tell you something. Two things happened to me the other day. I can't remember the first one, but the second one. No, the first one. I do remember. My landlord came by and he goes, "Wow, you must be cooking up a storm." And I was like, I was scared, right? I was embarrassed, right? And I was like, sure am. I was like, listen, I'm either cooking real food or I'm making my candles, right? I wasn't cooking anything. Nothing. I don't know what the fuck he smelled. He's like, wow, that smells good. Like, chow. And I was like, I just lied. I just went with it. I was like, you know, all I do is cook, right? But I lied. It wasn't even true, right? Then my neighbor asked if I used curry. I never use curry. What kind of cooking Mimi spirits are cooking in my house? What kind of alternate universe is cooking in my house? Of course, I would have the spirits that love food, right? You don't get these ties by accident. I get the spirits that's like, we gotta cook. I just said that, Tasha. What the hell? What the hell? Carmen. Hi, Tabitha Brown. Tabitha Brown on YouTube has a jackfruit thing, and she used the can. So I'm gonna go back and look at her video. I do have a can because the can is found in the Puerto Rican section. They don't call it Puerto Rican section. I'm calling it the Puerto Rican section of the supermarket. They call it the Goya section. I'm calling it the Puerto Rican section of the supermarket. So at least I know jackfruit is around to replace meat and all that good stuff. If you see turmeric, which I have, it's in curry. So that could be it. Wait, what? Turmeric is in curry? Oh. Well, I had to stop using turmeric because it kept turning my teeth yellower and yellower. But I use turmeric all the time. Red roses. Jackfruit tacos. Yes. She has a whole restaurant. What state is this restaurant? You use spicy curry in your food. You got Jamaican in you? Why does Jamaican and people from India only use curry? I never understood that. What's the connection? What's the food connection between these two groups? Because there is a connection. There has to be. There has to be. It's in California? Tabitha Brown's from California. Well, you know I got to go back to California, but I can't go back with the airlines, and everybody's out sick, and this is going to be the worst travel, and the airlines stole everybody's money. Now, you want highway robbery? You ain't got to worry about somebody taking money out your purse from your home. No. You just got to give it to the airline. You literally paying for tickets that don't exist. I mean, seats that don't exist. From North Carolina. Oh, and her husband migrated there so she could become an actress. Really? And look at her. Just a YouTube sensation. Oh, if it's in California, I'll find it. Mm-mm. Me and my sister will have to go. I will find it. Her food looks delicious. It really does. She's really, you know why it looks delicious? She's chill. She's so chill. She's not showboating. She's just chill. You like her, you like her. You don't, she gonna still eat her jackfruit, pulled pork. That's what I like about her. Good morning, everyone. Mrs. Net D Nice, good health. Oh my God, I love goat. I love goat. But I'm trying to wean myself off meat, people. Jamaican is mostly jerk seasoning. Trinidad, Guyana uses curry more. Oh. They have East Indian heritage on the islands as well. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Marie. What's jerk seasoning? Is that a whole bunch of stuff put in? How's everyone doing? Indians from India have been migrating to Jamaica since the mid 1800s? What? Interesting. Very interesting. I did not know that. Hmm. There goes the influence. Let me see. You guys are took. Tabitha Brown is coming out with a vegan competition show on the Food Network. Good for her. Good for her hosting the show. I'm hearing. Good for her. She deserves this. She deserves this, and she deserves this time. You know what else? We deserve this. We deserve to see a woman of color, vegan, cooking. You know, I watch a lot of food IG people and YouTube people. And the one thing that gets to me a little bit is how overweight the cooks are. And I know it's very normal for cooks to be overweight. I get it. It's normal. They're tasting the food. I got you. But when I look at what they're cooking and how they're using vegetable oil and not olive oil lubricates your arteries. Vegetable oil clogs it. You know, that they're not speaking in terms of flour, right? Flour is so high in carb, and is there an alternative to flour? I found an alternative to flour. Oh, I like almond flour as an alternative to flour. Hmm. I like almond flour. How there's other options like avocado oil and sunflower oil that would be better from some of these cooking shows, but they don't mention what type of oil, so you can assume, you really can assume that it's vegetable oil, and vegetable oil is the worst. And a lot of flour dishes, right? And if you're having issues with carbs and sugar, the way you were raised is killing you. That's a real generational curse, right? We have not moved away from slavery eating. And that's the God's honest truth. We have not moved away from it. And in 2022, with all the changes that's going on in the world, right, we have to monitor what we put in our bodies, because what we put in our bodies, we're giving to our children, right? So we might be raising overweight, unhealthy children on the onset, right? Like these two fruits, were not the sweetest, right? But healthy, right? So we want to start looking at that. You know, the kids aren't exercising enough, and I already know the kids aren't getting enough water. You got to take all. That's one thing I notice here. The one thing I notice here is sugar drinks. They will have a whole row in a supermarket of different sugar drinks. Those drinks kill you. Don't buy them. Don't bring them home. If your husband needs it, you hide it in your bedroom underneath the bed. And y'all drink it in private. You know what I mean? Like, but water, 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 water. Just give your kids water. And if you need to make something sweet for them, which is natural, then you make your own limeade. I love limeade over lemonade. Lemonade is too tart. Or lemonade. You make your own and don't use any packets of anything to help you. Squeeze some goddamn lemonade and add your own sweetener, you know, but make that the alternative choice. Yeah, almond flour. Yes. I love almond flour. I've tried everything. I'll show you my almond flour. I'll show you my repertoire of flours before I got to almond flour. I've tried arrowroot. I'll show you. I'll show you tomorrow. I'm too tired because I got to get a step stool and get it all down. So I'll show you tomorrow. Before I found almond flour, but has very little carbs. Almond flour, which is why it's my flour choice, and I like salmon croquettes, but you have to dip them in flour. So now, when I dip it in flour, there's no guilt when I'm eating, right? I must confess, I'm addicted to Reese's Cups. Stop. I eat sweets like crazy. Stop. My children, thank the Lord, have never been that way. Thank the Lord. I was exactly like you. I used to eat Reese's Cups, and there's a way I had to eat it, like the side first, and then the back, and then the front, and then the peanut butter last. Ooh, I didn't realize how much I was killing myself. Seriously. And I was having this as a dessert every night. So that means the sugar was sitting in my body overnight. When I start thinking of how I could have, when I start thinking about how I wish I had someone in my early 30s that would say to me, Tracey, Reese's Cups every night, you're going to pay for it. I would be a different person, right? I always tell this story. When my son was a baby, he was less than 2 years old, was working at a hospital. Skinny white lady, old. She looked old to me. She probably was my age now. But you know, when you're 20s and somebody's like 59, you're like old, right? And I was describing what I was making for my son. So I was like, I got potatoes, because potatoes, according to Black families, are filling. So you always add potatoes, right? So like a potatoes, vegetables, of course, and some meat. And I grind it in a blender. My son always got fresh cooked food. One thing I was always proud of. And this woman heard me talking. And not only did he get it for dinner, but he also got it for lunch the next day. So that's too much, right? Because he's a baby, so he's eating grind up food. And she pulls me aside, very stern. She was hilarious. And she goes, you are never going to feed your son that food ever again. I was like, what? She's like, you are never going to feed your son potatoes every night. And I was like, oh my God, then what do I feed him? So I learned a couple of things. I learned not to get him hooked on sweets, right? In my household, in our age bracket, in my household, having dessert meant luxury. Not everybody could afford dessert. So if we had dessert, it kind of meant, in my mom's eyes, I don't know what was going on in her generation, that you were privileged. So she would make sure we had this event for dessert every night. Everybody gather around. And this is the dessert, right? But it meant that as a mom, she was privileged to give her children dessert. So we would be at dinner and be like, Ma, what you got for dessert? Meanwhile, we're sleeping on that sugar. Do you understand? Sleeping on it. And that's not my mother's fault. That was an error, right? To be able to announce to people, oh, I give my children dessert every night. Every night, I give my children dessert. It's not her fault. Besides all the unhealthy cooking that's very common. And my mom was West Indian, but my dad was Southern, so she cooked a lot of Southern food for my dad. And I'm sorry, Southerners. I'm sorry. Overweight is a thing with Southerners. Come on. It's a thing. It's a whole thing. So, yeah, you know it is. Mashed potatoes and grits and waffles and syrup on everything. Who put syrup on their eggs? Let me ask, who put syrup on their eggs? Who does it? Answer the question. Mm-hmm. Let me know who put syrup on their eggs. See? D-Nice? Oh, you got some rethinking. Retrain your brain. That's diabetes road. You on diabetes road, child. D-Nice, you put syrup on? Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? D-Nice, you're killing me. You're killing me. Well, I put syrup on my eggs, right? Not because it's normal, because why wouldn't you just add shit on top of shit on top of shit, right? And sugar and grit sounds disgusting. Okay, AB, I've heard this before. First of all, I refuse to eat grits. You can never get me to eat grits. Now, that's the Southern in me. That's the West Indian in me. I got both sides. One half West Indian, one half Southern. I will never eat grits. Well, I did. I did once, and I was like, this is shit. I was 10 years old, right? First time I ate grits because my mom doesn't cook grits, which was shocking because she cooked everything for my dad. I was at cousin's house, had grits for the first time, and spit it out in a plate. They were kind of mad at me, but I was like, what? Why are y'all eating it? This is disgusting. I will not eat grits. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I won't do it. My son eats grits, but his father is a Southern. So his family eats grits. And so my son, who went to his dad's house every weekend for 18 years, he likes grits. So, ugh. Yeah, I heard you're not supposed to put sugar in grits. Yeah, I put 4 scoops of sugar on my cream of wheat. Okay, D needs an intervention, everyone. Gee, this is exhausting. You need a goddamn intervention. Oh, God's daughter, don't tell me. I can't. I can't. God's daughter says, oh my God, Tracy. Creamy grits with butter, salt, and pepper are everything. I can't. I can't. That's the only time I know I would die. If we are down to grits, because we're going to be down to nothing soon. Gas is going to be, what is this? Gas is going to be $100 a gallon, and there's going to be no food. But if we are down to grits, then death has to be quicker. I will not tolerate grits. I will not. Dee needs a sugar detox. What do you recommend? All in basketball, salt, pepper, and butter on grits? You guys are assaulting me. Just assaulting me. I won't do it. I won't do it. Marie, don't do it. You're West Indian. Don't do it. Don't do it. Save yourself. Don't do grits ever. West Indians do not do grits. We will not live this way. Everybody's like, girl, that's how you eat grits. The bomb. I'm so glad that you guys are not mad at my aversion to grits. You guys are the best. Well, Dee, see, there's actually something else going on. Let's stop for a minute. There's something else going on. There's a odd stubbornness inside of you about your own health. That becomes a mental thing. Your health is about your childhood. Seriously, it starts there, but there's something else in rebellion and why you are insisting upon eating foods when your children that love you are begging you to stop. And of course, your doctors see your numbers, so I know why your doctor is telling you to stop, right? We do have this thing in the Black culture where we don't understand that what people are telling us is for our longevity of life. It happens, especially with the elderly, right? And that means people older than me in their 80s and 85s, right? They refuse to not live their life any other way but the way they want. But they also wind up in wheelchairs. They wind up with toes missing and limbs missing, right? Because it comes down to your body can't take what you're putting inside. It's not, right? Take it out of your mind, right? I'm going to do what I want. Reconnect, unravel, and reconnect your mind. What's happening is that you are feeding the very vessel something it cannot tolerate, right? It's jam-packed. It's overloaded now. And after you get a certain age bracket, it starts to shut down. They're like, sugar again, right? So if you think of it this way, and maybe this could help you, would you feed your 5-year-old granddaughter or child straight vegetable oil? If you're going to say no to that, which you should, that's what you're doing to yourself when you constantly eat fried foods and Reese's peanut butter cups. Those things are there to kill us. A sugar detox you will have cravings, I promise you. Because as you're taking something out that's unhealthy for the body, the body gets mad at you, and the body goes, you gotta give me sugar. So then you wind up binging on sugar, right? And you got rappers all over the place because this is your addiction. Addictions always go back to childhood. Gambling, drugs, alcohol, food. It always goes, it's something in your childhood. And this is the way that you're nurturing yourself. So, because that is latent memory, we have to start in the brain. We have to start with memories. We have to start talking about reality. We have to start like, how were you hurt as a child? Because now that you're in control of your life, you're going to do whatever you want, which is eat. Ooh. I understand, Miss Tracy. I never understood why I'm addicted to sweets like this. I wasn't fed these things. No, it's not about you being fed those things. It's about your childhood. So most times there's abuse with addictions. There you go. Right. And so you have to learn to allow your emotions to get through something without the ice cream. I've learned that too. I've learned, don't keep it in the house. I was watching some show the other day, and they had their pantry open, and they had a row of potato chips. And I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. Now, I was going through something since November, and I will eat potato chips, right? But I also know that I'm going through something. See the difference? I'm like, I'm going through something, and what will satisfy that? Potato chips, right? But I've also reduced myself from potato chips, where in November, since November, I was eating cookies, potato chips. There was these not English muffins, some other thing I was having for breakfast. And I had to rewire my brain again. I was like, okay, Tracy, this is your form of depression. Stop. So once I rewired my brain again, then I had to decrease the amount of. Marie, you weren't there last night. Guess what we watched last night, Marie? We watched Lovecraft. We watched Lovecraft last night. So good. The season first episode. Lottie again putting, those are feelings of loneliness, right? Pudding is very soothing, right? All right. What happened, Chantel? Marie! I found a way to make it work. Marie, I just had to think, right? I had to put my magical brain on, and I wasn't using my magical brain. I was frustrated. I was so frustrated. I was like, there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a way. But as of lately, I'm less and less concerned with things, right? So yesterday, the day before yesterday, I was thinking, yes, this is so stupid. I know this can be done. So I put my brain cap on, and I was like, all right, God, how can I do this? And so I started fiddling with things, and I tested it out. And when I tested it out, I said, okay, it's not as clear as I want it to be. So maybe it might be grainy, but at least I got it done. Well, let me tell you something. I left the setup, turned the lights off, put on a loudspeaker, watched Lovecraft last night, the first season. I mean, the first episode. Yes! Finally, I did it. So next week, we're going to watch the second episode. And then we're going to discuss what we see. Because there's some pivotal stuff in Lovecraft. Have you guys seen Lovecraft? All right, guys. That's just an excuse. My mom passed. That's just an excuse. Akuta Matata. Akuta Matata. Akuta Matata. Right? Think of it this way. Didn't her mom pass? Think of it this way. Right? You're the generation that takes on. You take the torch on. Your mama did not give you the torch to join her. So no, we're not going to go in that emotional space and use our mother as the excuse for overeating. No, it's okay to be depressed. It's okay to cry. Overeating is a bad excuse. Get some therapy then. But I understand the loss of a parent. That's crazy. It's the worst feeling, by the way. I know what that feels like. But it doesn't, it's not the ends all. The Akuta Matata in it all is that you do get to live. You are your parents' legacy. So you got to remember that. Yeah, there's still something going on, D. Still something going on. Overeating, that's a thing. I'm not saying you weren't given love. I'm wondering what subliminal messages you were given that in some weird way controlled you. And as an adult, you are now, for instance, oh my God, this is a nightmare. For instance, were you controlled by religion? And is religion a disciplinary way, even though you came from a loving family? I'm not saying you didn't come from a loving family, but I don't care how you slice it, this is a childhood thing. And then as an adult, you do what you want. And so there's a rebellion going on there, right? But religion can come in the form of abuse. I don't care how you slice it. So rethink to see there's stuff going on in the wiring of the brain where it's like, I had a good childhood. I believe you. I'm asking you to rethink it. Go back again and rethink it. Because if we don't get the opportunity to kind of say, what the fuck? Like, what? And remember something, we can't handle why you have the addiction. Oh, thank you, Bree. Overeating is the result of childhood emotional manipulation. Thank you, Bree. No, Louisiana is not. No, COVID was in Louisiana, right? So if you survived COVID, but you're not eating right, come on, guys. Louisiana's another state. The shit that they eat, rice every fucking day, they're not dying out of the blue. COVID and your diet don't get along. And so they're dying of cardiac arrest and diabetes and blah, but quicker because COVID is like, how do I attack this? Does that make sense, Chantel? The diet needs to change in Louisiana. I visited your state and I was shocked at how everyone had the same dish and rice. No, you don't eat rice every day, but Louisianans eat rice every day. You do. You do eat rice every day. Listen, when I came here to the Caribbean, I spent maybe the first month. First, I was here in June. And then in September, I got the rice out the way. I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna eat rice. I'm in my homeland, and you know when you're in your homeland, the food even tastes different. After that, I gave myself a couple of months. After that, I said I will not eat rice. I will not. They eat red rice. They eat not red rice. They eat rice and rice and beans, carb after carb. It's a nightmare here. It's a nightmare. Oh, I love that you don't eat meat. That's beautiful. Lord have mercy, Sabrina. First of all, Sabrina, you are young. How you eating chocolate? Sabrina, you are too young. How you eating chocolate cake every day? Because she's like, I'm not eating it today. You eat chocolate cake every day? No, we're not going to do that anymore. Again, it's childhood. It's some childhood issue. It's about control. I can do what I want, but you and the way you're thinking is hurting you. So I'm not accusing you of feeding your children badly. I'm just talking about you. I want you to live. Yes, that's the other thing. These babies are coming out vegetarians. I love that about them. That's rebellion she's talking about, Dee. Thank you. It's about what you can afford and can control. Yes. Well, whose picture is up, Sabrina? Is that your granddaughter? Well, chocolate cake in your age bracket, right, is what we were fed the bullshit. I'm in your age bracket. We were fed the bullshit. Chocolate cake every day? No, you're gonna lose a toe in a minute. No, no, I don't accept. That's you. That's you at what age? 66? Oh my God. Well, you are absolutely beautiful. Let's just start there. But you're about to lose a toe. No. Are you exercising with all that chocolate cake, by the way? Oh, by the way, I was supposed to do this. I found out that I was losing weight, right? And I looked at my thighs in the mirror. I don't know why I wasn't looking at them before, but and thighs are blubberish. All right. I understand, Miss Trace. Yes, I'm fighting for you. Marie goes, yes, Sabrina, black never cracks. Black never cracks. Yes, it sure doesn't. They're coming out veggies. It was my daughter's own choice to not eat my any animals. The kids are coming out veggies. I know. I know. I have changed eating since October. I exercise and walk and have lost weight. I know. I know. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to make mistakes, guys, right? Because any addiction is hard. Any any addiction is hard. That's a period. Hold on a second. We spent the whole hour talking about food. That's hilarious. Wait, what? What? All right, I don't have time for this. Let me just check my. Oh, good morning. All right. All right. Are we good? I love these conversations. Thank you, Dee. I'm an open person. I know you are. I don't take everything personally. Please don't. Please don't. Now, y'all know more than anybody how much I talk about food. So please don't. But it is time for all of us to leave what our parents gave us. It sounds like a song. Leave what your mama gave you. Or shake what your mama gave you. Okay. Oh my goodness. Thank you laughing so hard. I got my toes. Ah, Billy, am I racist against certain groups of people? No. I am vocal. I am absolutely vocal. And because of my First Amendment, I am allowed to be vocal. And that's what I'm doing. I'm using my voice because Black people have never been able to use their voices out of fear. So I use my voice, and if anybody doesn't like it, kiss my ass! And I mean it. Kiss my ass. It's my First Amendment right. And I exercise it. Is it First Amendment? Free speech is First Amendment? Oh, yes, them grandbabies. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've tried Impossible Burger. Impossible and Beyond. One of them I like better than the other. I can't remember which one, but I'm kind of over burgers right now. One day I know I'm going to get a craving for a burger. I already know it. But I don't know. I don't need steak as much as I need to anymore. It's just so many things are changing, you know? I don't know if I need steak anymore. And, right now I'm on to chicken. Then I go get fish, but I haven't had fish in a long time because I eat tuna fish during the day, so I don't want to have fish and fish. Just, I'm trying to go as much veggie eating as possible. Like I don't eat rice anymore. I don't eat rice anymore. I eat cauliflower rice, right? But now I'm gonna figure out how to make fried rice with cauliflower rice. I'm trying all these dishes with cauliflower rice because I love rice. It's my Caribbean choice of food. I can eat rice, butter, and a little bit of salt. Boom. That's a whole meal for me. But I'm trying other things. And cauliflower rice is a good choice, but you really have to cook it well because it holds moisture. Flow pops. Oh, D. You're hilarious. I know. Oh my God, you are hilarious. Oh my God. Eating the veggies is great to kill the hunger you got to have some type of protein. Yeah, I don't believe that meat is the only way you get your protein. Nope. You can get your protein another way. I'm a natural vegan. Oh, child. I've never liked to eat meat. Damn. The thought of eating meat is repulsive to me. Damn. Who are you? Who are you? Okay, so I give myself carb in the morning, right? So it could be a bowl of Cheerios, handful, and almond milk. As of lately, because I have an ant issue, I'm kind of turned off from Cheerios in the morning because I have an ant issue. And I have to put the Cheerios in a refrigerator, but it takes up so much space that I'm just off of Cheerios for right now. So I don't like eating eggs in the morning all the time because that sucks, right? So for right now, I eat a cookie with cream cheese. Not a regular cookie. It's like one of those gourmet cookies like cars, you know, the cracker cars with cream cheese. And that's my one carb sugar in the morning, right? Because I can get rid of it for the rest of the day. If I could have croissant every morning, I would, but we don't quite sell croissants over here. They sell it in these weird packages, and I won't eat it that way. But very light breakfast. I don't need a lot for breakfast. Handful of Cheerios, or as of lately, it's been a cookie with cream cheese. I'm obsessed over cream cheese. If I'm forced to, I will eat eggs over easy. If I'm forced to. And I do keep eggs in the house at all times. Hold on. So, okay. I know Miss Tracy told you it's crazy. My family does the same thing you did and shake their heads. My aunt stopped me from eating candy. She said, don't do that. It will have you sick like me. See, she's a diabetic. See, good for your auntie. Seeds, hulled hemp, poppy seed, source of protein. Oh, thank you. Sorry to hear that, at Chantel. Yeah. But look at the aunt trying to save her. That's the real messaging there. I'm not big on carbs, but I love meat or seafood. Yes. If you're not big on carbs, that's half the battle. Carbs itself is sometimes an addiction. D Nice, I'm sure you know how and when to eat your food and snacks. It was nice bonding with you all over cake. Felicia, pour salt on the area to get rid of ants. Pour salt? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. I didn't know that. Oh my God, you could save my life then. All right, because I know exactly where they're coming from. Okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Good food is so happy sometimes. Food is everything. Food is bonding. Food is family. It's everything. I had a habit of eating pickled eggs with beets in the morning. Got lazy making them though. It must be very interesting, right? Pickled eggs and beets. Beets is good. Is beets good for blood or something like that? And your pea comes out red. So funny. I've had my green smoothie for breakfast. Green smoothie all day. I can eat anything green. Yes. Smoothies are a little tricky because depending on what sweetness you put in it, then you might be giving yourself sugars. And you already have a sugar issue. So be mindful that even your smoothie might have too much sugar in it. Vinegar and water, it will get rid of ants. Vinegar and water. I might do the salt better because I don't want the water to damage my landlord's property. All right. Your floor or carpet. They're not on the floor. They're on the walls, but I know where they're coming from. So I'm just going to pour salt. It just sounds better to me. Beets good for blood. I thought so. Very good for blood. So look at you. You're doing the right thing, she rocks. By the way, I love that afro. Love the afro. All right. So let's do my job. I am the official YouTube correspondent for CNN. They never asked me to do this job, so it's unofficially, but it must be done. Boris Johnson resigned. I'm so happy about that. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has announced his resignation as Conservative Party leader following a wave of government resignations. It's clearly now that the will of the Parliamentary Conservative Party that there should be a new leader of the party and therefore a new Prime Minister. As a result, Wednesday night, Johnson said he intended to stay and fight, but the avalanche of resignations from government ministers continued through to today with letter after letter criticizing the scandal-hit leader and imploring Johnson to step down. Johnson's departure marks a remarkable downfall for a prime minister, much like Trump, who was once seen as having political superpowers. He's a jackass. With an appeal that transcended traditional party lines, he won a landslide victory in December 2019, just around Trump, on the promise of delivering a Brexit deal. These motherfuckers cannot create a Brexit deal. How long has this been going on? 4 or 5 years? Each time a prime minister stepping down and never having to make Brexit deals yet. And leading to UK to a bright future outside the European Union. But his premiership unraveled in the aftermath of COVID-19 pandemic. He had his COVID moment, didn't know how to clean it up. I can't do this right now. Parade shooting. The gunman in the parade shooting, what's his name? I love that when it's a white person, they don't mention a person's name. But Uvalde Ramos. What is his name? Somebody give me his name, please, so I can say it. The gunman in Monday's massacre at the 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois, admitted he carried out the attack, killing 7, wounding dozens, prosecutors said yesterday in Madison, Wisconsin. When he seriously contemplated committing a second shooting in Madison, Wisconsin, where he drove to after fleeing the parade shooting. Officials revealed the gunman, dressed in women's clothing, to conceal his identity and used makeup to cover his tattoos. Well, if you were in New York, it would have been a normal day. Women's clothing and tattoos, that would have been like normal for us. Robert Crimo, thank you, sweetie. Robert Crimo, because they're not mentioning his name. He was dressed in women's clothes to conceal his identity and use makeup to cover his tattoos. Investigators believe separately a tip from a hero citizen thwarted a potential mass shooting planned for July 4th celebration in Richmond, Virginia. Do you know that there were 5 shootings July 4th? 5. Let me see if I can find it. 5 shootings. I'm going to show you. There were 5 shootings all over hold on. Highland Park wasn't the only devastating shooting on July 4th. There was one in Boston, 4 injured. Kansas City, 4 injured. Richmond, 4 injured. Sacramento, 1 killed, 4 injured. And then Chicago, 5 injured. Mass carnage is worsening. All that on July 4th. No, I think he wore it. He wore the woman's clothing, and I don't know. In Virginia, shooting was thwarted because the tipster overheard a conversation that a mass shooting was set to occur at the amphitheater and called the information into the police on July 1st. I'm sorry of all of the stuff that's going on. I wish America had better mental health. I wish America wasn't so racist, because that's what it comes down to. It comes down to, do you like Jews? Do you like blacks? And it comes down to the children, right? So they, right, the children don't have words, they don't use words, right? They're in their phones or they're gaming, so they don't have the ability to develop their throats and their cognitive mind and speaking clearly what's going on. So they think crazy things and then they carry it out. And the gaming doesn't help. I'm sorry. Ah, I hear you, Red Roses. Thank you. After the shooting, he put on the woman's clothing to mix in with the crowd to leave. So, yeah, I guess he did have time to dress up and put makeup on his arms. I don't know. Yeah, Robert Reach, he's the real deal. Yeah. Um, yeah. So there's a lot of mental health depreciation that's going on, and parents have to look at themselves because that generation, right? So this is after the Parkland shooting kids because they understand this, right? So something's going awry with some 18-year-olds, 19, 20, 21. Like, what happened to this generation, right? And is it racism from the home? Like, are we not teaching love anymore? Are we pretending to teach love, but love is not really being taught at home? And again, I'm back to gaming. So I think if you're not monitoring your children's gaming, I think okay. Ugh. Hi, Mr. George. I think uh, I think the gaming industry, and I'm about to start some shit, is mind fucking your kids. And I'm dead serious. I think that there's something in the violence programming, right? Like, I'm not a gamer, so I don't know what that is, but I know that if you're playing shoot 'em up, right? Not like football, right? If you're playing shoot 'em up, and then you have flashing lights, right? I think those flashing lights are participating in getting the kids to act crazy. Anybody else was thinking that I'm thinking? Because it's too massive, right? So if it's too massive, what is happening? And ironically, Trump, who's really crazy, he kind of mentioned it. He kind of said the same thing, and I was like, oh my God, he's so crazy. But he tends to speak his truth when he's at his craziest. And once I heard him and sat in it, he was trying to tell us what is going on. That the gaming is programming your children to act out. So I realize now, but it took me a minute to get there. I realize now that it's not parents that are encouraging the racism. Of course, there are some parents that are encouraging racism, so I'm not forgiving that. I think what's happening is that nice parents are giving their children gaming without understanding that the gaming is replacing mother and father. And so you might think, I love you enough to give you another video or whatever it's called. I apologize for not knowing. Very much ignorant in gaming. But you might be giving your children a programming material that is fucking with their heads and brain. I really feel like it started out as an experiment and then has gone awry, but they can't admit it. Like, what mad scientist can admit this? But I feel like it started out as an experiment, and it has reached a level of violence that is coming outside of the gaming. It's being produced, but I think their mind is getting fucked up through the gaming industry. Can anybody see what I'm saying? You guys have gaming. I don't. So I don't, like, if I had it, I could study it, but I don't have it. So, but can you guys see what I'm saying? Right? Descent programming. That's it, Lottie. That's what I believe these children are being programmed. And I'm going to stick to that. But it's more than gaming instead of family time. That's not it. The programming in the gaming is fucking with your children's mind. Do you guys not understand what I'm saying? Am I not being eloquent in my speech enough? It sounds dangerous. Yes. And oh, I didn't know that. Oh, wow. Thank you, Sailor. Sailor says, if you have ever heard the way they talk to each other on the shooting games, there's no filter. Even people overseas call us the N-word. Subliminal, Marie. That's the word. Subliminal messages are in the gaming, right? And one of the subliminal messages is kill, hurt. Do you see what I mean? So we've offered our children up to the system for the most part because they're babysitting our children, right? And it's so popular, we missed it, right? We were missing what the PS5s are doing to our children. We missed it. But then I also remember people fighting for the PS5 Black Fridays, like killing each other to get a PS5. And I remember thinking, that's not good. You're trying to get your PS5 for a 5-year-old, but you're going to kill your neighbor at Walmart, like trample at Walmart to get a PS5 for your 5-year-old child who's now 18 and all they want to do is kill. Good for you. Well, Miss Shay, it replaced guns during child play, right? Guns have always been a thing, always, especially amongst boys. It's always been a thing. But we took violence out of play and put it in safely in gaming, but it's fucking with their heads. No, no. I think it's bigger than just being a psychopath. I think we are controlled by the government. Seriously. I think it's bigger than these children being born psychopaths. I honestly don't believe that anymore. No, it took me a minute to understand what the fuck is going on. But okay, no, no. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that, and it's so big that no one's talking about it. But the president mentioned it, and that man had a way of vomiting his information out. And I'm telling you, that slip of the tongue, he was not supposed to reveal that. So that's some secret society information that they gave to him, thinking that jackass could be trusted, but he can't be trusted. So y'all gotta trust me on this. It's the gaming. It's particularly the violent ones. The games are triggering them. Yes. Mind control. Yes. See, I didn't even know that. Red Roses says in the past you used the gun to kill the bad guy or stop the bad guy. Now you use the gun to kill anything and everything and everybody. And in a weird kind of way, D, yes, you can blame the government. Yes, you can blame the government because they put blacks in areas where there's never any good food, so you eat what's given to you. So yes, it's not a joke. You actually can blame the government for your eating habit. Ukraine. Russian forces are inching closer to eastern Ukrainian territories and are likely to mount an offensive on the key of Slavyansk, a regional military official said, urging civilians to evacuate. Thousands of people still in the eastern city of Svetlodonsk will soon face awful conditions with no water, gas, or power. Separately, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said the Western artillery his country has received has started working very powerfully in his nightly address Wednesday. Zelensky confirmed his military was able to strike depots and other spots in report for logistics of occupiers. It's killing me what's happening in Ukraine. Monkeypox. As monkeypox cases continue to rise globally, this is an offshoot of COVID, but they quite won't say that. They won't say it's an extension of COVID. The World Health Organization is considering again whether to declare the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. Oh my God. Oh my God. If we would have stayed in lockdown another year, we really might have been able to eradicate COVID. In late June, WHO's emergency committee determined that the outbreak did not meet the criteria for such a declaration. All right, you're getting monkeypox. But as the virus continues to spread, the General Tedros wants the committee to take up the issue again based on the latest data around the evolution of the outbreak. Across the world, it's a worldly issue, right? So that's scary. There have been more than 6,000 cases recorded in 58 countries. Monkeypox is a viral disease. COVID is a viral disease. This is a nightmare. Similar to smallpox that commonly spreads from person to person through direct contact with infectious bodily fluids. But monkeypox is viral. You will breathe it in. It seems never ending. Right. It absolutely is never ending. No, D, I promise you, the government taught you to eat the way you did. I promise you, it's not you. You take responsibility against the training that you were given, but you didn't know it. I promise you, the government gave you your eating habits. American debt. Rising prices in the U.S. have cash-strapped shoppers reaching for alternative payment methods for everyday purchases such as gas or groceries. Increasingly, many people are turning to buy now, pay later installment plans. Oh my God. Which has become popular amongst shoppers seeking to spread out the cost of big ticket purchases. The trend has become a concern for economists and consumer advocates who say The surge in the use of these services, coupled with a lack of transparency and no regulation oversight, leaves them wondering how much debt Americans are getting into. Experts say these transactions are common amongst young consumers, that's Gen Zs and millennials, and are estimated to be at least 100 billion annually. The rise of these services comes just months after a key inflation index showed prices in the US hit a new 40-year high. Tesla, Elon Musk just had twins. How many babies does this man have? With some executive at one of his other companies. I hope she sues him for sexual harassment. Tesla has 9 kids? 9? And y'all want to talk about Nick Cannon? Notice how racist that is. This motherfucker has 9 kids? Did you guys know that? Let me. Y'all better stop talking about Nick Cannon, because this is a problem. All right. He has 9 kids. Listen to this. An airplane flew 14 hours with a hole in its side. Those on board saw a massive puncture in the side of the Airbus as they exited the plane. All right, guys, that's it. I don't know how I got through this. I don't know how I got through this. Let me just see something. Let's see if this airplane. Let me see if they show the airplane. Look at that. Wait, how many kids does he have? 14 or 9? Musk is not raising his kids, and that's a problem. Children need time. I agree. I'm just saying, stop calling Nick Cannon out if you don't call one of the richest men out. Well, Nick Cannon says the same thing, doesn't he? Doesn't he kind of say, I want to try with children? I'm just saying, don't call Nick out if you're not calling Musk out. That's all I'm saying, because that's a problem to me, not just Nick Cannon. She rocks. No, don't think of it that way. Don't think of it. Nick's not a billionaire. Musk is a controlling son of a bitch. So you're automatically assuming that he's giving money to all these women. Don't assume that. No, it is irresponsible, whether you are a billionaire or not, to have that many children spread all over. So no, you can't take money and make it the reasoning. See, that's not okay. These children are being raised without a father in the household. Why is that not the biggest value? Do you understand? Him giving a mother money to live in a nice condo and to always have food and clothes, what is that? That's disgusting. Because I'm rich, I could do that. No, don't compare. The point is to have these children, which it doesn't have to be Musk, it doesn't have to be Nick Cannon. The dude in the street does the same shit, right? What did we used to call them? Hood sisters, something like that. It's not okay. None of this is okay, billionaire or not. And it's not okay to say, well, he's a billionaire. He's a jackass. He's a dick. He's an asshole. So is Nick Cannon, but I'm just saying, like, so is the guy in the hood. I'm just saying, like, none of this is okay, and why are we in the era that that's made acceptable? I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying, like, just don't say he's so rich. It's so you didn't say that, but I'm just saying, you know, Boris is a serial baby. Boris, he's got 7 kids with 4 Boris. My God, what is going on in this world? Can we blame that on gaming too? Let's just blame everything on gaming. Boris has 7 kids. These men make me want to throw up. Just throw up. I'm telling you, Kira, it's bullshit. All of this is bullshit. The women are going to lie for Nick Cannon, first of all. Second of all, you can't spread your time. We've only got 24 hours, and at least 8 of that needs to be slept, right? So what? How is he spreading his time? It's bullshit. It's just a lot of bullshit. Listen, I don't believe none of them women, because those women will, no. Nick will find another woman to make a baby with him. No. Those women, simple-minded. I don't care. I'm going to say it. Fuck it. And they all look alike. They all look alike. He's got a type, right? And same thing for Boris, 9 or 14. And Amber Heard's baby is his. Period. You know, it's just disgusting. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's a guy thing. I don't know. I guess it's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should shut up. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should shut the fuck up. Let me just shut up. Oh my God. Now that I'm thinking about it. All right. Yeah, the kids will have something to say to their dads. Absolutely. At least from what I see, Nick seems to spend time with his kids, but again, what I see, but I don't know. I agree. I mean, I agree. You know what? I just decided I'm gonna shut up. I just think the excess of 9, 14, I don't know how many Nick has. I think the excess. And do you know something else I heard? It's crazy. I heard that Nick has some sort of condition. So he's making children so that he can get bone marrow from them or something like that. Did you guys hear that latest lie? He's looking for his bone marrow child. I don't know. I heard this. Yeah, definitely has a lot to do with a baby daddy with presumed money. Yes. Yes, I agree. Tasha K said what? What did Tasha K say? Years ago, long, large families were the norm. Yes, my mother had 14 siblings. Yes. But the lack of fathers being in the home is an issue. That's what I'm trying to say. Father was there even though mom died young. Oh, wow. Did she die during childbirth? Because 14 kids is 14 years of being pregnant. My God. Poor baby. About Nick and bone marrow. Yeah, I didn't hear from Tasha K because I despise her. But I did hear it somewhere else again. And I don't know. You're literally making kids to find your bone marrow. Okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Let's try that excuse. Yeah, Nancy, I get it. I get it. The mindset of what's going on inside the woman's head as well. I hear you. Um, I get it. I hear you. Yeah. Yeah. Did he come up with the Kel's issue, Red Roses? Because that, whew, that ex, is it an ex-wife? Is it a current wife? I didn't quite hear all the stories. I don't know if she walked in on him, but I can tell you, seriously, I can tell you that, and this is a serious story, that Kel was in the Nickelodeon family. And there were pedophiles running rampant in the Nickelodeon family. So I can't imagine that that boy was not touched as a baby, right? One of the Brian, man, I can't remember his name anymore. He was an acting coach, and I believe he was Kel's acting coach. There's so much secrecy going on in the Nickelodeon family. It would not surprise me if that boy was touched. And right after Kel was the Nick Cannon. And it would not surprise me, if Nick Cannon was touched. I'm just saying. And I think what Nick Cannon is going through is some childhood mindfuck. Nickelodeon needs to be sued by so many people. I mean, so many people, even the parents. The parents were just complacent. Oh, we want to take your kid to a party. You can pick them up later. Do you know how many times they tried that with me and my son? Even to go to, what's that slime show that they do every year? The Nickelodeon slime show. Let me tell you something. That Nickelodeon slime show is in the dark. It's dark. You don't know where your kids are in that Nickelodeon slime show. I promise you. And they invite all of them. It's this big event. I think, if I remember, we went to a tent. They really tried to convince us that parents were not allowed in. Like, who the fuck are you? And the person, there's always someone in charge. There's a go-between the kids and the parents, but he's really in charge of the kids. But he blocks his job is to block the parents. And, once we got there, they were like, okay, Mom, so the kids, parents can't go in. And people don't know me, right? And I was like, what do you mean the parents can't go in? But they've already taken out y'all. They're like, okay, kids, let's get ready. You're going to watch the show with the fucking slime and all the celebrities, right? And then you'd be like, they take them, and then like, okay, parents, so you can't come in, right? The way they announce it is like, but you've already stolen our kids, right? So you're like, what the hell do you mean? Like, I can't go in. And these shows can last 4, 5, 6 hours. Like, it's all day, right? Let me tell you something. No one can ever tell me no. I found a side door, and I found my motherfucking kid. Right. And once you're in, they're not going to try and take you out, right? So they're just going to leave you once you're in. But imagine, the room is full of kids. No adult supervision except for the stars always had an escort. But the escort works for Nickelodeon. So who the fuck knew what that escort? It doesn't matter. My point to you is, by the time we got there, Nick Cannon had already gone on to greener pastures. But there is something in his development, though. I remember at one point he was like vice president of children programming in Nickelodeon. And I remember thinking that the transition was too high, right? And he wasn't a vice president type, right? So what was that title about, right? And if I think about it right now, the title had everything to do with I'm going to sue you. And when you tell them they're going to sue you, they will create a show for you. So rather than sue, they create a show. Like, who are those two boys? They created a show for them. One was a chubby kid, one was a skinny kid. Dumbest show ever. But they created a show because the skinny boy had been touched. Can't remember the name of the show. So when I look at Nick Cannon's progression, I'm always like, how's that possible? But now that we're 10 years later, I'm like, oh, 20 years later, I'm like, oh, he must have said, this happened to me. So then, about 10 years ago, all these pedophiles were arrested and put in jail. And I knew all but one. And one of them was my son's acting coach on the show All That. And he came out of New York City. And I remember when they would call Brian in on the offshoot, right? They would call him in to act, right? And I remember being sized up as a parent. And I realized that's the game. The game is to size up the parent. How hungry is the parent? And I remember feeling sized up as a parent, right? So, yeah. And I think I still have a picture where his name's Brian, the pedophile acting coach. Can't remember his last name anymore. But I remember, and I have a picture of it where he was like, I was like, let me take a picture. And he leaned on my son's head as if to eat it. And I remember thinking, but I didn't know he was a pedophile then. But I remember going, oh, this is weird. What is that? And then later I found out he was a full-on pedophile. So I would have to say Kel's wife might be really upset, but I would have to say this is a Nickelodeon issue, that they raise perversion onto these children. I would have to say it's Nickelodeon. Brian Peck. Oh my God. Red Roses. Thank you. Brian Peck. Thank you. Yes. And remember, Keenan had a whole weight problem. So you don't know why he had a whole weight problem. Right? Weight is about padding. Right? So whose dad was a preacher? Yeah. Oh, Dan Snyder. Ugh. The only one that never got caught, Dan Snyder. And when I mean caught, I mean really somebody testified against that motherfucker. Because they're all friends. You don't understand. They all work together on all the children's shows. They're all friends. They're dirty motherfuckers. That's all I have to say. Yep. Dirty ass motherfuckers. Well, D Nice, I agree. Something should have been done about the situation a long time ago, but it was up to the parents. That's the thing, right? These kids are kids. And so when I was there and they were like, oh, Tracy, we want to take your child, blah, 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 blah. And I'd be like, no. Did you met me and my child? No. And Brian Peck had written correspondence with Wayne Gacy. What was that guy? That weirdo. He was writing to him in jail. It was his idol. right, D? It's absolutely on the parents. So for the love of money, you pimp your children out. You know what's going on. I was there. You know what's going on. Parents talk. No, it's not okay. It's not acceptable to ask my child to come to a party at 8 p.m. He's in bed at 7:30. 8 p.m. is unacceptable. And he's 11. What the fuck? Drake and Josh. Right. Which is the skinny one? Drake? Drake was touched, allegedly. Nancy, I'm not even going to post that. Yes. Facts. Love JJ. Thank you. He goes, facts. They are all friends. Facts. And celebrity said that everyone knew about Dan Schneider and Brian Peck. Yes. Everyone knew. Drake is the skinny one. He was the one that was touched. Allegedly. And they gave him his own show. Yes. That could be true. That could be true. I don't know. Terrible parenting, selling your kids. And it's a mind fuck. I wish you could, if you were there. Well, this is what I noticed if you were there. It's a mind fuck. So when you're on the this is my experience, Nickelodeon. So I get to tell my fucking experience. The moms compete. So when they realize Brian was supposed to be the star of that season, right? Hella funny kid, funniest kid you'll ever meet, right? He got paid the second highest, which upset me. But the only reason why he got paid the second highest is because the other kid, which I can't remember his name anymore, was coming out of a TV show. I can't remember. He was like the friend of the TV. So he got paid, seriously, $500 more. But there was a pecking order. But we had an amazing agent. So Brian was coming out of a movie, but the movie hadn't hit yet. So he got paid the second. And let me tell you something. For children, it was not cheap. It was decent money. And then on top of that, there was a standard per diem that both Brian got and I got. So the per diem was something like $4.90 a week. Each. I felt so guilty about that much money that I sent my money to my mother every week, and Brian and I lived off his money and never touched his salary until we got back to New York. True story. We were living off of $4.90 a week. And for a mother and a child, and the car rental was free, the apartment was free. What the hell was I supposed to be doing with all that money? In any case. So the parents would compete against one another, right? So Brian was supposed to be the star because he was hella funny, but they began to see that I wasn't that parent, right? And that I could be a problem. But I don't know this at the time. What I know is he was going to have all these segments, and I think it was by the first day, they took all the segments that was supposed to be his to lead away. And you know what else they did? Because I know the mind fuck now. The very first show of his season of the very first show, they dressed my son in a Girl Scout uniform. Because that's the training. That's how they begin to identify. Seriously, which ones they're taking down, so that the pedophiles that are watching the show know exactly which one they're going to get. It's a true story. Now, I don't know this, but I remember thinking, why a girl's uniform? And then I remember thinking, well, it must be funny. They're the experts. All the pedophiles have been dressed up in girls' uniform. All the kids that they were going to take down have been dressed up as a girl in girl uniforms. I promise you, that's the ticket. That's the ticket for the pedophiles. What do you call it? Right? Because the pedophiles are watching. When I say pedophiles, I mean adults. They're watching Nickelodeon. So when you dress someone in a girl's uniform, then the pedophiles know which one to take down. They're like, oh, okay. Because the pedophiles like boys in the business. They like boys, not girls. They like the boys. I'm sorry, LJJ, Love JJ. I was there. Imagine being there. And you see your son dressed up in a girl's uniform, and you're like, what the fuck? But then you change your mind. You process it, and you're like, well, they know funny. So it just must be funny. Once I began to realize, not putting that together at the time, once I began to realize, let me tell you something, those producers and writers fucking hated me. They would just look at me like, and I didn't understand it. I was like, I'm the nicest person you could ever meet. What is this energy? What is it? That was problem. They started taking, sometimes they would give him a whole episode and we would go to the read. And then by the time they start shooting, they're like, oh, well, Brian, we made some changes. And then he would come into the room and he'd be like, he took me out the scene. And this was happening way too often, right? So then I fixed them because Apple computers, I think, had just come out. And the iPad was like this big. Remember the iPad was like this big? So I fixed them. And I said, let's go get an Apple computer and an iPad. And back in the day, they were just first on the scene. I got to see when it came out. And they were hella expensive. A computer cost you $3,000, right? But I had the money. An iPad was like $600. It was ridiculous, right? And I gave my son a computer, and I told him, bring it to work, sweetie. And sure enough, they would remove him from the scene, but he didn't care because he was like, I just want to get in my computer. And he's kind of a loner anyway, so he would get in his computer, and the other kids on break, thinking that they were going to come and be like, oh, Brian, oh, we missed you out there. And they see him engaged in his computer, and they were like, what you doing? Dada, oh my goodness, Brian. And then it was time for them to go back to work. They didn't want to leave Brian. I fixed those motherfuckers. You don't get to fuck with my son's head. Ever. All that on Nickelodeon, Chris. Mm-hmm. Now you know, many rappers have been touched. Now that you know. Yeah, they did look at me funny, but I also didn't know why they were looking at me funny. I didn't know there was this whole pedophile ring. The last time we were there, a young PA who had already been taken in by the pedophiles came over to my son. We were at the end of year party, whatever that's called. And everybody's drunk. Everybody's drunk. I don't drink, right? You can't get me to drink, and I gotta watch over my baby, right? And they're like, oh, you know, if you drink, we can always have a car take you home. I mean, the luxury and the privilege was amazing. So you think you have the freedom to get drunk, but I didn't drink at the time, especially 0 drinks, right? Not while I was raising my son. No, right? No, right? Okay. So everybody's drunk. And we're at the studio, and the studio is huge. You don't understand. The studio is huge. There are many hiding places. I promise you. And we were on the stage, just all hanging out. And one of the PAs who wound up getting arrested years later, I found out. Like, my son is like 25, 30, and we're like, he's on the list? I forget his name, right? He comes over, and he starts rubbing all over my son. He's like, oh my God, I just love Brian. Oh my God. But it was the way he was rubbing on him. And I'm like, is this guy drunk? Or is this guy revealing something? Because by this time, I knew the stories. So now I'm assessing it. He wasn't hurting Brian at the time. But I'm looking at him, and I'm like, is he drunk? Or is he one of them? Years later, he was arrested. Yep. 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 Eventually, we got fired. Eventually, I was a red alert for them. We got fired. I say we because I felt like they were really firing me, not firing him. They wanted my son. They could not have my son. And then I went to my son years later, and I was like, listen to me. And we saw the list of people that were, we knew all of these people. One black guy we didn't know, so he must have come in after we had left, right? And I was like, listen to me. Were you touched? Because if you were, this is the time to go after Nickelodeon. He said no. All right, guys. Brittany Griner pleads guilty to drug charges in Russia. I don't know what that means for her sentencing. You know, listen, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it this way, and I won't take it back. And just listen to what I'm saying. A man dressing up as a girl is symbolic in the industry. Period. It's a target on your back. Period. It's the industry letting you know, we know. That's the one to go after. And the pedophile ring is massive. It's massive. It's massive. And unless the victims speak out, especially in this Me Too movement, they get away with so much disgusting stuff. It's massive. So when they pulled us out the industry and we went home, it was like, okay, all right, not that big of a deal, right? The money was good. Yes. The money doesn't last. You're right. We had a wonderful experience, but the reason why we had a wonderful experience because I was a bitch of a mom. And do you know, for years, I felt bad about myself. For years. Even the other parents would make me feel bad. They were like, even the kids, to this day, the kids remember me as being like that loud, obnoxious mom. And I was like, was I really that? But one of the other kids gave my son a compliment. And he's like, how's your mom doing? And Brian's like, fine. And he's like, I just remember how forceful she was. And he said something to the effect like, be proud of her or good job or something like that, right? He gave the message to my son to give to me. And it was kind of like the first time that I realized that what I did wasn't such a bad thing. But I kind of felt bad because my son was fired. And his agent literally told my son in front of me it was because of me. And she was like, sometimes you just have to keep your mouth shut. And I was like, but you don't understand. Like, you're the agent, you're not there. It's not about keeping your mouth shut. It's more about not keeping your mouth shut. Like, I didn't understand. And that was the last words we had with his agent, where it was like, no. She's like, sometimes you just have to keep your mouth shut. And I was like, yeah. 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 I mean, sometimes, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. At the time, though, you got to understand, at the time, did it ruin my son's and I relationship if that is something that he believed, right? Because she said it in front of him. So is that something that ruined our relationship? And maybe I didn't pick up on it. Like, did he believe that I ruined his career? And did that stick in the back of his mind somewhere? I don't know. But I don't know if I care anymore. The bottom line is, I asked him if he was ever touched. He said no. I got to go with, he's an adult now. So as an adult, there's no need to hide anything. Because I would have went back to Nickelodeon and I would have slaughtered them. I would have slaughtered them in a lawsuit. I promise you. Yeah, protecting my child over the money. Yeah. You know, Red Roses, I think my son has a lot more growing to do. So I don't know if he truly understands what it's like to protect a child in the industry. I don't think he's 100% there in his mental growth, but he's got 2 kids now. So, and one is a girl. And I really feel like hindsight is going to be 2020 now that he's raising his children. Yeah, I know. I'm not looking for the compliments. Thank you, Felicia. I'm not looking for the compliments. You know, today I'm proud of myself. Today. I get it. I'm proud of myself today. And the fact that all these motherfucking pedophiles all wound up in jail in the last 10 years, it just told me, like, Spirit was like, stand still. Stand your ground. And one of the main reasons why I stood my ground just before my son went to start work on Nickelodeon, I think he went there in May. Someone called me, I can't remember who anymore, and told me about that little boy on Soul Food. Remember, he was supposed to be the next black kid to be a star. And someone gave him something to drink and burnt his throat. I was going to protect my son against people that would be jealous. I had no idea I was protecting him against pedophiles. There you have it. Because Brian was supposed to be the next blah, 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 blah. There you have it. Period. I thought I was protecting my son against someone that wanted to stop him from being the next big black kid. I did not know about pedophiles. It wasn't until I was there that I was like, what's wrong here? Something's wrong. Something, you could feel the energy. The parents talked about it all the time. Well, that was weird. Some of the episodes that we used to watch before it was put on TV, we were like, why would they have the children say something like that? I mean, weird things. Yep. Yep. All right. How did I go for 2 hours today? This is unacceptable. That's weird. Something that hurt his throat. No, they put something in the drink to burn his throat on purpose. I'm an educator, so this triggers me. Oh, love JJ. I love you being an educator. Good for you. I don't mean to trigger you. Oh, thank you, D Nice. Oh, thank you. I wasn't going to sell my son. No, no, no. And you guys see me, right? This is me post uh, young child. Imagine me with a child. This is mild me. I don't even know how I was when I had a child underage. This is me, and my child's an adult. And I'm talking about topics that I'm just passionate about. Can you imagine me with a young child and what everybody saw? We had to get fired. We had to. When I look at me today, what was I then? I really got to get the parents together and have them mock, like a mock Tracey, to have them show me who the hell I was at the time. Because I must have been a lot as a parent. I can't. And I love to curse. So I must have been like, fuck out of here. You're going to take my son where? Well, Tracey, we were thinking about taking you. No. No. You meant me and my son, right? Well, let me go back and check with the producers. Yeah, do that. Fuck out of here, you weirdos. All right, guys. I love you. I got work to do. Let me see. Yeah, so true. Tanisha, did I advise you about your children? Now you see I'm not lying because all the pedophile children are being exposed now. Now do you see? And you know what's worse than acting? Fashion. Oh, now fashion is where they go after the girls. Acting is where they go after the little boys. Mm-hmm. But it's a whole big pedophile ring. It's huge. It's huge. The next Me Too needs to be exposed, needs to be them fucking pedophiles. That's the next Me Too. And Dan Schneider needs to lead that. People need to stop being quiet about Dan Schneider. He's not a powerful man. He's a fucking pervert. Speak up. Ezra has his daddy's gene. And Brian will not put Ezra in acting. And Ezra's talented. Ezra gets jealous. His dad showed him one of all that episodes, and Ezra got jealous of his own dad. And I'm like, what kind of fucking son are you? This is me. And he's, oh, no, no. He's watching his own dad. Oh, that is not funny. I'm like, Ezra, what kind of fucking son are you? That's your father up there. Where's the love, child? Where's the love? Brian will not put his kids in acting. So there is still something extra that I don't know if it's internalized, but he refuses to put his, and Ezra is a cutie pie and very, very fucking animated without like funny animate. And of course the girl, absolutely not. They're not thinking about it. All right. Oh, photographers are going after the boys. Ugh, whatever. I'm not sure if that's the truth, Red Roses. I don't know if I don't know if I believe that. I don't see, because if that were true, then it would be exposed better, right? If someone that was touched as a child that child goes after another child. That I don't believe. Because I think we can get it exposed quicker and faster. I think once a child is touched, its personality changes and they become insular, they become inside themselves. And that's the real key in recognizing that you normally have a vivacious child and he's not vivacious anymore. And when did it happen? A week ago, a day? Like, notice the signs of your children. I miss them too. I've got to find, oh my God, I've got to find a way to get them back on video. I miss them. I didn't know coming to the Caribbean was going to make me lose so much. I miss them so much. And my sister keeps going, you never come see me. You never come see me. Oh, whatever. But what I have decided with my sister is she's not allowed to keep me strapped, right? She's not allowed to keep me strapped. I've had 10 years of hell, and she wound up in a really good group home with really good people. So that COVID gave me the freedom to walk away, and I did it. Yeah, but oh, I see what you're saying. No, I thought you meant that the children touch each other. Yeah, yeah. First of all, I'm sorry for your grandson, right? Second of all, um, yeah, it doesn't necessarily work that way, right? I think it doesn't work that way, and I think that person might be using the excuse to be weird to say and justify why she did what she did. It doesn't necessarily work that way. Everybody that's not touched, everybody that's touched does not become perverts in their adult life. That's not what happens. That's not, it's not even okay to say. I think that she is using it as an excuse. So I would even question how truthful that is. It's just her way of not being looked at as originally weird. That's what I believe, and that's what I'm gonna stick to. All right? But I'm sorry for your grandbaby. And godson, godson, godson. And I hope someone gets him therapy, and it's years and years of therapy. He can survive this. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, of course, love JJ. Like the women are sneakier with it, right? Because you trust with women, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you trust women more. True, and when women do it, they explain it away. True, but weird is weird. An unacceptable touching of a baby at any age. When I say baby, I call a 10-year-old a baby. I call a 15-year-old a baby. Do you understand? I call a baby, a 5-year-old, a baby. So when I say baby, I'm not talking about little tiny 4 and 5-year-olds. I could be talking about a 15-year-old whose mind is not developed and ready for mature sex. It's just sad. And women do it particularly because they already know that by being a woman, they can get away with the bullshit. Oh, I see. It does take years to reveal. I'm just glad you all believed him. It takes years before somebody says this happened to me. All right. No, I'm telling you, it's you don't you can't beat yourself up. You could be right there in the house and something happens. True story. Ugh. LJJ, yeah, fact. Sort of like Amber Heard tell Johnny Depp, who will believe you? You're a man. Yeah. And women get away with, not that we're calling Amber Heard a pedophile by no means, but it's the example of how women think that they can get away with some bullshit. Absolutely. Oh, D nice. I'm so sorry for your godson. Yeah, Tunisia, to me personally, nothing's better than being a mother, right? And no one gets to compromise how I mother, right? And I remember them making me feel like I wasn't a good mother because I remember them making me feel bad about mothering because I was the only parent that was vocal, right? Plus, I was the only black parent that was vocal. There was another black parent, but she stayed with the other parents, making me look like a jackass. So, yeah. Hi, Sandra Joe. Yeah, I think I kind of did the same thing. I was prepared to believe that people want to touch your children. I was prepared for that. And because I was prepared for that, I was micromanaging. Yes. Yeah, I know, sweetie. We all say we would be in jail. And what I would prefer to say is, thank God you didn't have that experience, right? Thank God. Just thank God. All right, well, we went way off topic. This went for 217. 95 people stayed on the whole time. I love you all. Please, by all means, whoever needs a reading, I am available today. So go ahead and text me 213-458-7408. Subscribe, like, share. Call me for your own personal reading. I am doing Zoom readings, right? At no extra charge. Zoom readings at no extra charge. You do not have to be on video. You can turn your camera off, but you will be able to see me and the cards. All right? I love you too, Lottie. Thank you for sticking with me. That was really good. Thank you, Emma. I never know what takes off with this channel day by day. You were the Tracy because you were not. I don't understand that. You were the A Tracy because you were the asshole Tracy because they were not. Yeah. But when you're in the middle of it, you just feel like an asshole when you're in the middle of it. You're just like, wow, I must be the bad parent. And the only other parent that I have to give a lot of credit to was Chelsea's mother, Chelsea was also on the show, because we would have honest talks. We'd be like, am I crazy or did you just see what I saw? Right? And Chelsea's mom would be like, I saw it and I cringed. Right? So I got to give her a lot of credit, because what I realized is that what I was thinking, seeing, and feeling was more real than not. But if I spoke to any other parents, they'd be like, oh, Tracy, you're so crazy. Do Tracy. In any case, I'm out. Love you all. Take it easy. Bye.
Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.